Okay. Am I on? Oh, God. Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Leland. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about miracles. Well, I actually want to talk about um, preparing a place for miracles. I love when Jesus said that miracles are natural, and that if they're not happening in your life all the time, something has gone wrong. That I'm kind of been thinking about that. You know how you're interested in something, it just comes up everywhere. Every book, every time you open the book or listen to another teacher, they talk about that. If miracles aren't occurring, something has gone wrong. And Jesus also says in the Course in Miracles that there's no order of difficulty in miracles. So healing something that you think is really small or healing something that you perceive as really big, it doesn't matter. There's no order of difficulties. It's an illusion. And also that he says that, purification has to happen first before a miracle can occur. So I didn't really know what that meant. So that's sort of what I want to talk about. So to prepare a space for a miracle to occur. So in order for a miracle to happen, you have to be in a place of peace. And you have to come with no past and no future. Just be there. So some of you know who might follow me on Facebook. I just came back from Mexico to San Miguel Allende in Mexico, which is the most beautiful place I've ever been. It's a 500-year-old city of culture and love and art and architecture. I was embarrassed when I was first seeing everything. I would cry around every corner. I was literally embarrassed for my hosts. It's just that beautiful. It's just God and flowers and people and faces of love and art, expressions of God everywhere. So they have a little newspaper that tells what's going on in the city, and there was a Course in Miracles group last Saturday at this little cafe in downtown San Miguel. From 11 to 1, it was all in Spanish, and from 1 to 3, it was in English. So the people that I was with were playing golf. I wasn't, so I said, I'm just going to check it out. And, like I said, when you're really focusing on something, it's there every time you turn around. So I met about 20 people there. And there was one woman there that I just want to tell you quickly because it goes so beautifully with what I want to talk about. And she just moved to San Miguel. She had lived outside in a village. And many of the villages around San Miguel weren't as beautiful and safe. Where she came from, there was a huge drug cartel. We're here, we have our problems and our fears and our issues that we talk about, but she literally had her neighbors being beheaded and shot. And she had children. And this particular woman, her son was there. His name was Carlos. He was in college. She reads the Course in Miracles to her kids since they were babies. They read it every morning, and they practice. So she was actually telling this story just to help somebody else who was worried about the drug cartel that didn't live in the city. So she said that she was a business owner, and that they would come to all the businesses around, and they would make you give them money, or they'd shoot you. And she said she made a point. She said, well, she just kept sticking with the prayer on page 298. So I just want to, this saved her over and over again. I just want to read the prayer to you first because she read it for us. It says, I do not know what anything, including this, means, so I do not know how to respond to it, and I will not use my own past learning as the light to guide me now. She said she wasn't putting any judgment or fear on the cartel. She wasn't locking her door. She wasn't expecting anything to go wrong. They never, ever, ever came to her business, she said, ever, to get money. Everybody else's. So they never walked into her business. And she told a story, too. She was with her daughter, and the car in front of her, they jumped out, and they had a gun to the other car. I mean, like assault rifles. Like, I'm in a Course in Miracles group in Mexico listening to these stories. So the cartel had assault rifles, and they got it up to someone's head in the car in front of her. And her daughter's freaking. And her mother said, nope, we don't do this. We remember right now that God is here. She said, we're going to go around. So they started to drive around this scene, this situation. And she said the cartel guy was like, really? And she just kind of said, we're just going home. And he waved them by with his gun. He waved them by, and she just keeps repeating this prayer. I do not know what anything, including this, means. And so I do not know how to respond to it. And I will not use my own past learning as the light to guide me now. So we would read this over and over again. So, that's a miracle, and miracles just need a fertile ground. They need a place to occur. And if she had been panicking, freaking, screaming, whatever, so I am confident a whole different outlook was possible. So, we talk a lot about fear when we do this work. We all have fear, and our fears come in so many different forms. Everybody here, we have a different one that perhaps woke us up last night, or that we thought of this morning. And they're all different. And what Jesus says in A Course in Miracles, the one common theme to all of our fears is that they're all insane. All of them. So what we do when we have something within us that we don't like is we project it outward. We put it on someone else that's not us, and they're playing it out for us. So all the people that we see are like form figures from our past. And we're the only ones that can see them. So you see, that's sort of, we all have our own little world. We're all in our own separate little bubble. That's, part of what being separate feels like. We all do this. Everybody's here, and I guarantee you, every single one of us is having a completely different experience. Completely different world we live in, even though we're all here in the same room with the same walls and chairs and cameras. We're all having a totally different experience based on what we're bringing from the past. Bill was using the pictures, and I love that. That was perfect to what we're going to talk about, even if we used me. So everyone here, when you look up and you see me, see most likely something from the past. The past with me, something that you brought in with the past that I remind you of or that you associate with. You're all, maybe I'm your mom. But everybody here sees me through the filter of what they've been through and their past. And God says that that is not worthy of God's Son. That not seeing somebody just fully with fresh new eyes, that's not worthy of us. I mean, if I ask you all just to look at me with completely fresh new eyes, in a whole new way, with nothing from the past, no thoughts of me in the future. And then when you do that for another person, when you're seeing them with fresh, new, innocent eyes, then the truth can come in for both of you. So thanks for doing that with me. So the beautiful thing is, Jesus says he's given us a solution. There is a solution. God always sees with love, and we always see with fear. But Jesus says all we have to do is what we just did. Just sort of push the darkness aside and let the Holy Spirit in. That's the solution. Just push those old past thoughts of anyone and anything aside. We just step out of the darkness. And we really can only do that in the present moment. We hear about the present moment so much. I used to read The Power of Now, and yeah, that seems really nice. And my mother used to always say to me, feel your feet on the floor. And I knew a lot about the present moment, but the more I do this work, the more I know that that's really all that exists. And that is the only place that we can heal, the only place we can meet with God, the only place we can meet with the Holy Spirit, who is sent here for all of our solutions, is in the present moment. And that's the only way we can find the solution. And I love how the Course says that the present moment was here long before time came in. And the present moment will be here long after time is no more. It's real, and that, every single cure for everything that we go through is in the present moment. And we don't have to figure it all out. We've been given the Holy Spirit. We just have to sort of make fertile ground. We just have to prepare a place for that miracle. Bill, that's what you're always trying to teach us. When Bill is always talking to us about present awareness and just coming back, when he's talking about just looking at these pictures like a camera. And I'm realizing that more and more, Bill, and I just want to thank you. I think that Bill has manifested more miracles than most people I know. So, thank you so much. So we have to come into the present. It's like the sign of the cross. Somebody said to me, and I love it, that's just, the piece of metal that goes this way is us thinking we're in linear time. And the one that goes this way is just where we connect with God. It's only right here. And that's God right there in the middle. That's when we just stop and be present. And Jesus also says we keep dragging the past wherever we go. We dragged it in here with us. We keep dragging it in. And the past is the only thing that's blocking us from the present, where all the solutions are. It's the only thing. It's like this big cloud. And the Course in Miracles says that we think it's normal to judge the present moment based on the past. He said, but actually it's delusional. You're delusional when you're bringing those thoughts and those fears into the present moment. And he also says about the past that if you want to stay in the past, that you are choosing to stay in darkness. And then your life becomes sort of, you're kind of waiting for the next doom and gloom to come. Life is a struggle when you're basing everything on the past. And that's where we get anxiety, and that's where we get depression. So it is just definitely a big cloud. So, in the future, it's laughable that we can possibly think we know what's happening in the future and we can plan for it. Like, somebody just said to me, do you even know what thought you're going to have next? Never mind what's going to happen. None of us do. So, I love, sort of practical application, like how do you do this? So you start when you realize you have a fear or an issue coming up from the past. You start by just coming into the present moment, saying, here I am. Let's do some house cleaning with these thoughts so I don't keep dragging them with me some more. That's really all you have to do. And then you can relax a little. And just be guided moment by moment. You don't need these big, scary plans for the future based on your big, scary past. And then the other thing, we said that to prepare a place for a miracle is to be at peace. You have to just come to an instant of peace and not bring the past and the future with you. So you come in, as we said, and you just say, here I am, let's clean this up. And then the thing that brings us peace is we remember that we are being led. We are being guided. And then you just focus on what is right in front of you. Bill, you're always talking about putting your hand over your heart and closing your eyes. Great, great practice. But you can just be with the person, be with the dog or the cleaning or whatever. Just fully be with what's ever in front of you. Now you are fertile, fertile ground for miracles. That's it. We complicate it. We always say this is hard, and I want to read something to you. When we talk about saying this is hard, it's hard. Even people at that meeting were, after they heard that woman talk about, being with the cartel, said it's hard. And I wanted to look into this a little bit. Just find the page here. I thought I marked it. Okay, here it is. This is what Jesus says to us, which is so awesome. He says, "Child of light, you know not that the light is in you." So he's basically saying, I know you don't know. I know you can't see beyond your fears and projections. He says, "Yet you will find it through its witnesses, for having given light to them, they will return it. Each one you see in light brings your light closer and closer to your awareness." So, what this means to me, he says, each one you see in light in the present moment brings your awareness closer and closer. So that's a practice, practice, practice. Each time you do it, it gets easier. You know, and knowledge isn't power unless you use it. It's useless data. And it's not hard. It's hard if you're still thinking in the past or thinking in the future. This work's not hard. If you just bring it back to right now, whatever you can remember to, or remind yourself some way, that's not hard. You know, Jesus says right here, he knows we're sort of too interlinked with the past, so he sent us the Holy Spirit. We just have to come into the present moment. That's all we've got to do. We don't have to figure the rest out. I was thinking last night, my daughter and I are doing a cleanse. We sort of, clean out these meat wagons once in a while. And I teach them. I mean, I've taught them before 10-day cleanses, and the way I teach, the way I know that it works, is you really don't need any potions or any special vitamins, anything. You just stop eating junk. And your body starts to do, all of your organs are filters. It starts to do exactly what it knows to do. And then it starts dumping toxins that you've been holding on to in your tissues and your organs, and then you feel better. I tell people, you're going to see how your body's supposed to feel. That's exactly what we're doing here. We just stop putting junk in, and the rest just happens. Yep, stuff's going to rise up that's been stuck in there when we do that. Nothing's gone wrong. That's just how it works. It's the same exact thing. And then we start to feel better than we've ever. We start to see what we're supposed to feel like. So I was thinking, wow, that's just so similar here. And just a little more about, when we say that it's hard. I hear that from a lot of people, that I'm still feeling judgment. I'm still feeling unworthy. I'm still getting all these feelings. When's this going to stop? Am I doing it right? What do I need to do different? I'm missing something. And I want to first tell all of you that the fact that you're even being aware of this, that you're having judgments and fears, is so good. That's what you're here to do. It's such a necessary part of this work. So that's great. So you have this thought of judgment or whatever, and that's fine, because I want you to really hear what I'm going to tell you right now. It's the second thought that matters. It's the second one. If you have that judgment thought, if you have that unworthy thought, it's the second thought I want you to really, really devote your time and energy to. I love when the Course says, and I'll get it wrong, trials are but lessons presented once again, where once you made a faulty choice, you now get to choose again and escape the pain that the first choice brought you. Basically, you get chance after chance to step in to love, to step into heaven. God keeps calling you back. He keeps giving you, come on, you got this one. I'm going to give you another opportunity to choose love and get out of this fear loop that you're stuck in. He just keeps calling you home. You get another transformational opportunity all the time. It is not a problem. You are not messing up. And that second thought, every time you make a conscious, loving second thought, that first thought gets smaller and smaller and smaller until it dies of something impure and then God's going to judge you for it. And that word always just kind of freaked me out. But I've since shame or unworthiness. That's all temptation is. And it's nothing to be afraid of. And it's nothing to judge yourself for. You know, the ego wants to use everything as another reason to be guilty. Look at you. You're still judging. But no, that's just temptation. Then we just have to say, nope, I'm on to you now. It's a second thought. That's where I want to live. That's how I want to devote my life and my time. And it's awesome. You know, it happens all the time for me when I will burst into some kind of frustration, and my husband will tell you, and I know my daughter will tell you, that oftentimes I love to say, I'm going to rewind. Can I rewind? I just said it, you know, I just said it the other night. My husband put the news on to watch the weather, and I found myself sitting bolt upright saying, what's this bullshit? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm throwing the covers off. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, can I rewind? Stop. I can choose peace. It's my second thought. I didn't beat myself up for getting all caught up in it. And I'm literally obsessed by something I just heard Marianne Williamson say recently in a talk. She talked about the utter brilliance of God, and the love of God, and the brilliance of this universe. She talked about how an acorn brilliantly and beautifully becomes a mighty oak. And how an embryo, a little tiny dot, becomes a baby. Just turns itself, it just grows into a baby. And she said, that's the love that we all have. That's the brilliance that is calling us forward every second to our highest calling on this earth, to the highest we can be. It's always happening. The only difference between the embryo and the acorn in us is the embryo and the acorn don't say, nope, I got this. I know how to do this. I think I'm going to go that way. I'm going to do it my way. Yeah. So that's the only difference. So when I'm freaking out about the news, I just had to remember that. I'm like, whoa, everybody, all of these people, everything that's happening, we're all being called to our highest manifestation, our highest expression of ourselves. Because we are here to remember that. We are all a creative expression of our Creator, who is pure love. Every single one here is a different and unique expression of God's love, like the notes in a symphony. All of us are just important, and all of us are different notes that make the symphony so much more beautiful, and we're all needed. And we're here to remember that, and we're here to remember that for everybody, and that's the miracle. And that's something that we can't do it in the past. We can't do it in the future. We have to do it right with whatever is in front of us. That's the fertile ground, for the miracle. So, just to recap a little bit, when you feel stuck like that, like when you're in something that you know you've been in before, when you felt this way over and over again, when something's happened in your world over and over again, and whether you like it or not, you're the common denominator. And you know that all healing is of the mind, even though you don't know how to do it. It feels overwhelming. It sort of doesn't even feel real. That temptation to want to fix it out here is really loud. That's okay, we all go there. You just come back and you say, here I am, I need help cleaning up these old thoughts. I can't do it. I can't fix the thoughts with the same thoughts that created the thoughts. I need help, I need you, I need something new. It's all you gotta do. And then you remember that you're guided, and you just be completely present with whatever is in front of you. Now miracles can occur. And thank you guys for being here and doing this work with me. We are all here every morning dedicated to miracles. Like, I love that I have a group of people who, it's as important to them as it is to me that we experience God. And we do that with the second thought. We do that by saying, oh no, and we step in to the present until we don't have to anymore. Who knows when that is, but. So I want to thank you guys very much for being here. Bill, I know what you're going to talk about, I think, and you are going to give a beautiful closing to this thing. Thank you, guys.
That was beautifully said and presented. Linda is such a beautiful expression of the transformation that's taken place, and just a reflection of all of us. Thank you. That was a beautiful sharing. And you know, even in the midst of the technology, the things not working, and like I had to replace the cable for the sound while we're live streaming, and you know, having that kind of presentation, it just has a very calming presence about it, right? You guys are all, and I'm not, you know, I love you guys, the live streaming, and I know it might be a little frustrating for you, but over here, it still feels pretty good. Nothing personal, but I really feel that because you're expressing the truth, you're coming from this place of just vulnerable, open heart sharing. It just has this calming effect on anything that's happening, even when it seems to be not going your way. And you gave some really great applications, practical steps that we can use to notice and to get back on track and back into alignment. And this is my favorite thing to do. I'm going to invite everyone to have a meditation experience in the closing this morning. So sort of set your thoughts over to the side. Tell your mind to be still, because we're going to have a God experience in saying we're going to close off the outside world for a moment. And we are the sky. We are what God is. We are the presence of God incarnate. And we get to experience God right here while we're in these bodies. We're in these things called people suits. And even though we're not these people suits, we can just, you know, I'm so thankful that we are free as a people and that we can do what we do in this country and many other countries around the world now. But right now, we're just going to be what God is. We're going to be in this experience of pure presence. Because we are what God is. Our holiness encompasses the world. And we are this amazing blue sky. We are the universe of universes, actually. There's no limit to what you are. child of God, perfect light. Oh my, you are so brilliant. You are beyond the sun and stars. You are eternal presence. You don't need to worry about time and space or the person, thoughts, feelings, emotions, because you are the reflection of God's love. This is what you are. Just know this. You are the peace of God. Pure presence. Unlimited and beyond all things. You are not a person. You are not a body. What you are has no age. And this presence of being that you are abiding in the very bosom of God. So just breathe in this resting place. Resting in God. Resting in Yahweh, Jehovah, Shiva, the Buddha mind. Pure presence. And this presence does know itself. This knowing is beyond time and space. So just allow yourself to be. Be. Be the light that you are. And allow yourself to just be grateful. Just be grateful to the Creator that created this pure presence as you. We are so grateful. Anytime you feel that you've forgotten this presence experience, come back here. Come back here in this resting place. I'm waiting for you. I am is waiting for you. Just to come back into the memory of God. I'm here for you. Your I am is here for you. Your grace only needs to be acknowledged. And it is yours. So I invite you to remember this experience. Just remember this God experience, this resting place, always available. And thank you. Thank you that we join together here in the one mind where we are all the same. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And this is you. You are the peace of God. And so it is. Amen. You can open your eyes if you want to, slowly, and just come back into the room. Thank you for going on that journey with me. You guys, I don't really like to talk too much after I do that. I like to just sort of let the experience just sort of marinate the person. We just got marinated. Huh? What? Yes, now we're tender and juicy. So this is, I just want to say, this experience is the way I start my day, just about every day, and it really does when the shit hits the fan. Sometimes it does. It hasn't lately. I mean, not like it did last year. But sometimes it does. Sometimes the shit hits the fan and we need a place to get back into realignment. We get, all of a sudden we're in it. It's not like, we didn't catch ourselves. we agreed with that first thought and we never made it to the second thought. And when that happens, if you only have a moment, if you only have just even a moment, just rest in God just for a moment, because that will begin to remember. That'll help you to remember again. But what I do, I rest in God in the morning. I purposely get up earlier than Lisa, so there's no, there's no discussion happening. There's not, there's not. I get up because I get up early because I don't want to have anybody to talk to for a while. I just want to be in the resting place, and in that resting place, you if you have something going on, bring the shit into that resting place and let it get dissolved into the light of truth. That is the altar of truth right there. And that's why I think Jesus says it in most of the workbook lessons. Do this in the morning for 15 minutes and do it before you go to bed at night for 15 minutes. And on the hour, if you can think about it. And on the hour is just, just always trying to remember the truth. They're always, and these practices, everyone knows these things. These are just to keep us remembering what we know to be the truth. And that's why that's why these communities are so helpful. That's why the live streamers keep plugging into what's happening over here in Amesbury, is because we're all remembering around the world. The Blue Book has come in to remind us of what we all forgot. Yeah. Huh? Oh. Oh. This looks like a high school book. Pretty cool. Yeah. So anyway, what I do is I start with that. I start with a little short, 15-minute meditation, accepting, the circumstances. Like the circumstances that happen in your life, go to workbook lesson 268. Let all things be exactly as they are. Let all things be exactly as they are. If we just take a few workbook lessons, as our go-to workbook lessons, and like rest in God, accept, and then when you rest in God and you accept things exactly as they are, you end up having an experience of trust. Who just turned the mic up? I know God's not up there. He's like everywhere, but it felt like God turned the mic up oh, maybe it's because I pointed it different. So it got turned up? Okay. It was the God content that turned the mic up. That's what it was. Thank you. Okay. So does anyone have anything they would like to share while we are in this happy place? This is the happy highway to heaven experience. We come to remember that we are on, this is where it's a happy, Jesus calls it becomes a happy fictional dream. It's still a dream experience, but it's really so refreshing to know that you're dreaming. And, those experiences of rest. The batteries are dead on both of them. I think it's time to wrap it up. Let's everyone stand, please, and we'll have a closing prayer. Thank you, live streamers, for bearing with us on this awesome Friday, A Course in Miracles Friday. Thank you, Linda, for presenting so beautifully. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Victoria, thank you for coming up, even though you were told that you wouldn't be called on for anything. Bring it in. We gotta connect the circle. Thank you, live streamers. We love you. We bless you, and we thank God for you. And I'll close in with the tithe and the offering, and then I'll close in a closing prayer. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for your amazing grace. Thank you for the recognition of the truth that is in each one of us. Thank you for these amazing teachers that come here to express the truth of divine love that is in each one of us. Thank you for Linda for being a beautiful expression of that truth today. And thank you for all of these mighty companions, the beings that are right here with us, and the ones that are watching, and the ones that are not even with us. We love all of you. And we're grateful to God that we are awake and this dream is over. We're just filling in the blanks. We love you all. We bless you. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you later, live streamers. Bye-bye.